I'm an RAAus licensed pilot, and I hold an RPC. And this certificate, along with my endorsements, allow me and one other passenger to fly pretty much anywhere in Australia, with a few exceptions. And I like the RAAus system. It has probably the least amount of paperwork compared to CASA to become an active member, has the least restrictive medical requirements of all aviation, and the cost per hour is typically cheaper than that of their GA counterpart. But there's one catch with my RAAus license. It doesn't allow me to fly here, or well, anywhere outside of Australia. And this isn't a surprise. I mean, after all, it's Recreational Aviation Australia, so why should I expect anything different? And I don't really, but I've been bitten pretty hard by the aviation bug, and it's hard not to want to fly pretty much anywhere and everywhere at the moment. So while my wife and I are on one of the most scenic and picturesque road trips around the South Island of New Zealand, I simply can't shake the fact that I really want to be experiencing at least a part of this trip from the sky. Not on an airline, but from the left seat, behind the controls, and I really want to bring my wife along for the journey. So what are the options then? Do I need to go back home and go through all the hoops and upgrade my license to a full PPL with international recognition? Well, if the goal's to be pilot in command, then yeah, that's probably going to be part of what's needed, but in my case, that's not actually my priority right now. I really just want the opportunity to experience flying in some of these areas that I'm traveling through. So all I really need to find is a flight school or club in the area with an instructor who's happy to sit in the right seat and help out with any of the specifics of navigating the local area, the differences in air law, and the operational specifics of any aircraft we fly in. So on our journey, we happen to drive past this small little airstrip just outside of a town called Kaikoura on the east coast of New Zealand. After some quick Googling, we found that one of the operators from this airfield offered a bunch of services from whale watching, scenic flights, and more importantly, flight training, with an Aeropro Eurofox A240 and a Cessna 172 listed as part of their training fleet. So after a quick stop in at the airfield and a chat with the team and geeking out about this impressive vertical hangar storage solution, we managed to book Juliet Charlie Tango, the Cessna 172, for a flight the next day along with Ben, one of the flight club's instructors. This is my first time flying a 172, so it's a double dose of fun for me with new checklists and procedures and a completely different performance profile to what I'm used to flying in. Meanwhile, my wife was probably starting to question what the comfort levels of this trip were going to be like after seeing the suspected impact craters from the previous passenger's head and the roof. But the morning of the flight, the winds were calm, the air was perfectly smooth, and comfort levels were awesome. There were scattered low clouds along the ridges of the mountains, so we couldn't venture out too far, but we only really needed a short flight from the airstrip. We were less than about 500 feet off the ground when it hit us that the scenery in this immediate area is just something that I don't think we can truly experience back home in Australia. With mountain ranges on one side extending up to about 8,500 feet, and on the other side a submarine canyon dropping directly down 2,000 feet just off the shoreline. It's creating some absolutely breathtaking visuals. One other unique feature to this area is the effect that the earthquakes have had on this region. Back in November 2016, a 7.8 magnitude quake hit the area, lifting parts of the coastline up 2 meters vertically out of the water, resulting in these vast bleached reef and rock formations. Seeing it from the ground is one thing, but from the sky is something completely different. I still can't quite come to grips with the sheer amount of force and energy to create this, let alone the effects that it's had on the local residents, the wildlife, and the general ecosystem around here. Returning back to the airfield, I'm reminded why flying in a new area with an instructor is beneficial, especially for a low-hour pilot like myself. This circuit pattern has you flying directly towards the hills, which, not surprisingly, could catch out even an experienced pilot, creating a tendency to turn base early, running the risk of touching down well beyond a safe threshold. Looking back at this whole experience has given me confidence in a wide number of areas and a whole lot of reassurance. I'll admit that I did think holding an RAAus license was going to initially be a bit of a barrier from these types of experiences in other parts of the world, and to an extent it still does. I mean, after this flight, I'd absolutely love to come and fly around this area for days and weeks, but right now, I'm just so happy to have the privilege to experience this part of the world in such a unique way with the people I care about the most and in a community of like-minded people. I genuinely think everyone, regardless of your aviation journey, should do the same. Take the time to go stretch your wings in a new area, a new country, and see for yourself what this new perspective has to offer. As always, thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next adventure.